I so need to learn some new dance moves.
I've already perfected what I got.
You know, you're going to have to teach me, man. Hey, I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan with PDQ.com.
We are going to take you guys through automating packages that are not in our package library. Now, that being said, some caveats, some things you're going to have to follow, so pay attention.
Yeah.
Don't blink, you might miss something good.
The secret to our success is we're lazy, but we're willing to put a lot of work in to achieve peak laziness.
That's right. I will put some time up front so that I can sit back and drink coffee later.
Exactly.
That, I think, is the automation mantra.
Yeah, so this should help you just be able to sit back and enjoy a drink while your job does itself for you.
So we need to get everyone in the home lazy. All right. All right. Okay. So a couple of things, right? Obviously, when you send out a package from our package library, you download it, it auto updates, you schedule it takes care of itself. We're going to help you getting through every part of that short of the download. You'll have to still do the download, but the rest of it will get it all automated for you.
Absolutely.
That being said, we need to jump into the first thing is variables.
All right.
So with that and variables, for this to work, guys, you need to make custom variables. Obviously, go to options and variables. We have made a couple here. One called myver for my version, and then the other one is obsver. Okay. We need to have these matching in inventory and deploy, right?
Yep. And one thing to remember is it is case sensitive.
Okay.
And you don't need to type the @ symbol in the parentheses. It'll add that for you.
Okay. It is case sensitive is in regards to the script?
In script, yeah. So
Okay.
when we're updating these automatically, if between inventory and deploy, if you have different cases, it is going to fail on one of them. You have to have, it is absolutely case sensitive.
Get them to match. So we're going to match these in deploy and inventory. Those are our deploys, myver and OBS version, because we are going to put out the package OBS Studio is what we're going to do. And
this one's inventory, just so, and we have the same variables.
we got it matched.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's switch spots really quick.
All right.
'Cause the next thing we're going to want to do is make a collection so that you can use these variables and keep things up to date using those. So the way I like to do it, the lazy way.
Always the best way.
Copy and paste. So I'm going to go find the easiest collection out there I can copy, which is this QGIS. I'm going to copy from the top level. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to duplicate. There it is. Let's clean out the filter. Go to the bottom. And we're going to make a collection. You're going to want to do this for the software that you're going to continue to maintain. In this case, it's OBS Studio. So that being said, let's go in and make some adjustments to this. So
Yeah. We're going to do our best to only type things one time, then a lot of copy and paste, just because we do a lot of fat figuring here, so we want to remove us as a variable.
and if you've ever seen any of our videos, obviously I can't spell. So at this point, I'm going to go and I'm going to change the system name. So this variable right here, if you highlight it, you'll notice we're using the system variable for QGIS. I'm just going to replace that with OBS Studio, which I typed in the collection name, and obviously Control-C, Control-V. We're going to replace that, okay, at the upper level here.
Yeah, but just to highlight the difference of the variables, the ones that we provide for you have the $sign. If you make your own, it's going to have the @ symbol. That's something I've done wrong a couple of times, so just kind of watch out for.
You'll notice right here, I've expanded this, and the upper level now is looking at OBS Studio. We don't need this not installed, okay? I mean, if you want it, great. I'm going to get rid of it, delete it, and I'll take the two collections underneath it because I'm just concerned about what's got the latest and what has an old version. So that being said, let's just go in and do some more copy and paste. Again, you double click on this and Control-V. That's something I can do well.
All right, control. I mean, it's hard to fat finger Control-V. I've done it.
You've done it?
But it's easier to get that right than actually typing it out.
That being said, at this point we now have a variable, that system variable there with the app version for QGIS. We need to replace that, and the easiest way to do that is to delete this guy right here. Delete this guy right here.
The extra character. Speaking of fat fingering
There
keys.
we go. And I'm going to go select my custom OBS version variable.
Or we can just
Now,
copy that.
because I'm going to use that again. That's right, copy. Control-C. And I'm going to replace right up here. Now, yesterday, I don't know if I was able to manage to get all the parentheses correct, but
Nailed it.
there we, hey,
We're professionals.
that's right. First time for everything.
You guys are in for a treat.
Don't get their hopes up. All right, and again, we're going to do the same thing here. again, double click so that we're actually looking for the right software.
We did not copy over the name again this time, so we might want to go back to an old one to copy
You know,
that.
because you've seen me do this, right? So let me get the name, because the variable I can always select, but that typing that OBS Studio, we all know I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just, I did it once.
Too many characters. There's
Let's
a space.
roll with what works.
There's no any key.
What? No any key in that one? All right, Control V again. Again, I'm replacing the app name with. There we go. One more right there. And then again, we're going to go after that version, so clear this out. This time, if you hit just the backspace key instead of the any key.
There you go.
There you go. And our custom variable OBS version, which I will copy and put in the description. Can I do it?
I believe in you.
2 in a row.
Nope. You missed it.
All right,
Yeah.
that's it. I might not touch the keyboard again
No,
the rest of the day here.
You've done very well.
I've done well. Have I really?
Yes. I am so impressed right now.
What?
The sarcasm
That
is
sounds so. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so right now I've got 3 versions that have got OBS Studio. That is the version. Hey, check it out, 20.0.1.
Yep.
Awesome.
Our variable works.
And I'm not kidding. I'm not touching the keyboard anymore. I'm moving. I step away. So at this point, we've got the collection made. Now let's go talk about making the package for that.
So we have this one pre-built just to save on time. I
It's
suppose,
pretty
but-
interesting to watch me type once again, and we don't want to do that.
So for this one, it is just a single step, and it is an install step. We run a batch file on this one.
No, we're doing a batch file just because we need something to show, guys.
We don't actually want to deploy anything. For you, there's probably going to be more installs. You're going to want to know your MSI options, or if there's MSI, or just all your silent parameters.
Check that out.
Yep. But then right in the path, you did put the variable.
So we're using a variable in the path. That looks like, if we go,
Click on the 3 dots.
the 3 dots. What are the 3 dots called?
Ellipses? No.
Is that what?
Ellipses.
Ellipses?
That's.
So we
Your-
sound
your
so
instinct-
intelligent.
your first
the
instinct
3
was
dots.
Should have believed in myself.
So you'll notice that takes us to OBS Studio,
Yep.
and
You have the
actually you
version.
bounced back one. It took us to the version folder, right?
Yes, I did bounce back. So it takes us into there where the file is, and then I bounce back so we can see.
The actual version number. So we're
Yeah.
using a folder with a version number in it
Yep.
to drop the install files in. Which, okay, that's going to work.
Yeah.
All right.
So are we gonna?
Well, no,
Let's do the schedule first.
yeah, let's definitely. And you notice this is a package built by me because there is absolutely no step title. So we should probably name that Lex failed to. Okay, let's call it what it is. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Before we jump into schedules, guys, do we have any questions at this point?
Dear Lex and Jordan, we have a package that only wants to install when logged into a user and then installed as admin. How might we automate it in deploy? Sincerely, Jegagud C.
All right. So only
Okay.
wants to install.
Into a user.
So it wants to run.
Okay, it's installed for a user, but you need to be the admin. Is that what I'm
So
reading?
does the account that's deploying have to be logged in? But then it also has to.
I'm a little confused. I will say this: there's without knowing exactly what you want, you can try running it as the logged-in user. If that logged-in user is not an admin, obviously that probably will not work.
Yeah.
Colby, any thoughts? I mean, I'm a little.
That's basically what I was thinking is logged in user, or possibly even a deploy user interactive.
Oh, there you go.
So that's what we're here, just on the properties that come to run as, and my lines are still as straight as always.
It's because you've been drinking.
I can't use that excuse. That's just happened too many times.
Oh, okay.
So the default, or the program default, is deploy user, but you can choose deploy user interactive is basically where it pops up a box where the user can see it, I believe, right? Or it's,
Yeah.
if there's something that requires input, they'll actually pop up for them where the.
I think so. I very rarely use that option.
Yeah, and the thing about deploy user interactive, and the reason a lot of us don't use it, is because it actually requires the end user to do something, and I love end users. And if it's more than one click, I don't think they can do it. So
the deploy user normally it's we put like a step where it pops up a message to them saying, "Hey, we're going to reboot your machine at this time. Click OK." Type of thing. So that's how they can see the input. Other than that, I don't know if we use it all that often.
logged on user.
Logged in user.
But then again,
But if they don't have admin rights.
so I think
Although, I guess the question is, back to the question, if it has to be logged in as the account that's sending it, if that is the local admin, that should take care of it. But if for some reason that account can't be the admin, I'm not sure
Yeah.
a way around that.
How's that? We kind of danced around that for a bunch and didn't answer it. So send us a little more clarification. We'll see if we can help you out a little more on that.
Also, you can try posting to our forum and see if any of the community members know how to
there you
deploy
go.
that particular application.
Ask people smarter than us.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Schedules.
Schedules, yeah. So
okay.
we've got the package built where the path to the install file will update based on the variable. Now we need to build a schedule.
So that we don't ever, I mean, okay, deploy once, that's too much for me. I just want to set it up once and have it work forever, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so
We're going to say this runs weekly. What did we say, Tuesday?
I don't care. I mean, no, Tuesday. Yeah, I do
Tuesday.
care. Tuesday, middle of the day. Yeah, I like that.
Only the second Tuesday. We only want to update this on Patch Tuesdays. That's
Patch
the best
Tuesday,
time
middle
for
of
all
the
of
day.
this. At 11
I see you're doing this like me. It's like you didn't bother to give it a name or anything.
Name.
Jordan failed here, and then just put an OBS so we do know that that is
Okay.
OBS. Perfect. All right. Targets.
All right, targets. So we're going to point this to the collection we just built.
Yeah.
It's you're going to see if you're on a 17. This menu option is going to look a little different to you.
Yeah, I want to show you. Thank you for bringing that up. This is 18, guys, the new way to select targets. We consolidated, made it easier for you. We're going to select a collection. Actually, yeah, select the collection, then we'll go select a computer just so they can see the difference.
Okay.
Oh, OBS Studio, old. You don't need to put it on the latest, right? Only on the
I
old
mean,
ones.
it would be kind of pointless at that point.
That is true.
And then you want to do just an individual computer,
Yep.
and then just pull up in inventory all the machines.
There you
that are
go.
in there.
Now, just grab Allen Rails real quick and then hit OK just to show the difference. You see right there the list of the machine versus the
Yep.
list of the collection.
It's dynamic versus static.
There you go. All right, let's nuke that real quick.
You don't actually want Allen Rails to have it.
I really don't.
All right, so you do want to make sure the stop deploying when targets, once they succeed, is checked. That way, if it's installed the latest, it knows it has and it's not going to try to install it multiple times.
Absolutely. Now, there's going to be an issue for our test here.
Okay.
And the issue is everybody's in the latest. So just for this one, guys, we're going to tell it to also install anybody who's got the latest version because we need some target history to delete.
Yes, so
So-
for your example at home, you want to use the old one.
Yeah,
For
don't-
us, because we're pushing it through, we're just going to do the
We're
latest.
going to just do this and then we'll take it out. So at this point, let's test Jordan failed here OBS.
We got to add the package that we installed.
Oh, yeah, I see how it is. Actually finish the job.
So there is something to run. OBS setup. All right, and you see
Target
the-
history is empty.
no target history, and then we're just going to, for the first time, just start that schedule.
Yep. Right click and
I guess we
run
could do
that
it that way.
sketch.
Start schedule.
Let's check the target history on my variable.
So this one I believe sent to around 40.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so see, there's the target history we're talking about. We definitely want target history in the other just to show you how this is actually going to work in process when we do this. So,
Okay. Yeah. See, the last step that we want to kind of cover is where we have it installed. So OBS came in. They have a new version.
there's a new version. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The new version is 21.1.2. At this point, before we actually get into the magic of PowerShell, all you have to do is make the new folder with the new version number. Thank you. 21.
21.
21.
Okay.
Now, it is imperative that you do not type like me and Jordan. It has to be right here.
Yeah.
okay,
if
for this
the
to
name
work.
of this folder doesn't match what the actual file is, going to make the variable wrong. All the updating is going to be incorrect on that one, and it's going to break for you. So you want to make sure you get the file of what the actual version is.
Correct. Now, the other thing you'll notice here is there's an archive folder.
Yes.
No, we put that in there because,
I
the script we're going to run, we don't want to just delete your stuff. We want you to be able to go in after the fact and say, okay, I'll delete this out of the archive file. Right?
Yeah, so in this case, we're going to move the old one to the archive, and it will keep it as long as you want. It's going to be onto you to handle the cleanup, or if you don't want the archive at all, we will. There's some comments to make that you can remove out. I'll kind of cover those a little bit.
So that being said, at this point, is there actually in there the...
It should be.
Okay, and the other thing to notice is make sure your setup file, whatever you're using, the setup exe or whatever, is named the same so you don't have to...
OBS Stoop.
What did it say?
OBS Stupe.
Stoop instead of says.
Apparently I did do that one too, didn't I? Do not change that. That's
Nope.
what we're needing.
That is what is in.
Okay, so if you spell it wrong at the beginning, you're stuck with it.
Be
Forever.
consistent.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Consistently be wrong.
That's right.
I can't add a Lex spelled here to that one because it would break.
That would break
our
this. That is
example.
true. So
All right, so now we have that. We have the archive. We have the old and the new version.
we just propped this up so you can see it. We don't need to save it because right now, once again, if I open this up, our variable is pointing us at 20.1.2. Are there any questions at this point? Scheduling variables collections.
Dear Lex and Jordan, whenever I change a custom package, I need to delete the schedule and create a new one for it to deploy again. Is there a better way? Sincerely, Sail Away.
I got this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for all that input.
That was
Right.
okay. Think about this though.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If you have to, all I can hear in my ear is people whispering back there. Was that bad? Really? The yes.
Yes.
No, I was saying that it's like the name is like Layaway, but with the band Styx.
Yes. All right. So the PowerShell part.
Whoa! Before you get there.
Okay. Before we get there.
If you have to do anything twice, you're doing it wrong. You should automate it. That's all I got to say. So,
Absolutely.
yes, deleting it's a way to get rid of it. We're going to automate that for you. So,
And
watch what's going on here. Very
And
soon.
on this one, the PowerShell we're going over actually will cover how to clean that for you. There's two different methods. Me and Colby disagreed on this. I went with my method, but I will go over what Colby's was if you want to add that instead, because Colby is smarter than I am.
So at this point, we've got it all queued up, right? We've got our variables set in inventory and deploy. We've got our collection built in inventory. We've got our package pointed to our path that has the version number in it.
Mm-hmm.
We've dropped our really cool StUp bat file in there, the install file,
You gotta have the StUp.
the StUp, okay. And this is the
This is
PowerShell
PowerShell.
magic that's going to actually start bringing that all together.
So this is gonna have to run as an administrator, and you're gonna want it to run on a schedule basically before the schedule kickoff.
So when you say schedule, you're going to Windows Task Scheduler?
Windows Task Schedule would be a great way to do
Okay,
it.
so
So-
we'll talk about timing in a minute, but let's
Yep.
go through this, yeah.
All right, so the top three, that's just defining the variables. That's in all scripts.
Whoa, back it up.
Okay.
All right, so auto path, that's the path of the repository.
Yes, that's
Very important.
Yeah, so if you are not storing your custom built packages in the repository, you're going to want to change that path, or if your repository is different, you want to change this path.
Let
To
guys
where it is.
keep it in the repository. It's much easier. It's a better place for it. You got it all in one place.
So wherever the repository is, that's the top one. The second one's a blank array, and the third one is where the database is. This is where ours is. Once again, if you did
if you moved yours,
non-standard install, you're going to want to update that to wherever your database is.
what's this next? The test part right
All
there.
right, so this is where we're building the packages we're updating. So instead of just having one PowerShell for every, we assume if people are building their own, they probably have multiples. And
Okay.
it'd be easier just to have it check for all of them at once.
So one
instead of-
PowerShell. So
Yep.
basically, test is our test variable.
Yep.
OBS is our OBS software.
Yep.
So if I needed another one, I would just, how much would I copy of this? And then we'll talk about what it is.
You want to basically copy the whole thing. You change the variable name right there, and then just update all of the
Okay.
different variables.
So basically,
in our case, it is where we had the repository, and then / OBS Studio is the rest of the path. Schedule ID, I don't actually believe we're
Ooh.
15. Let's double check that.
you do need the schedule ID. So
In this
we
case,
just did
schedule ID is 16.
Why that's important is that we need to, if you
Yes.
get this wrong, you'll delete history out of the wrong
Yeah,
schedule. So
this will delete the history of whatever schedule ID you give it. So you want to make sure you got the right
correct
one.
one, yeah.
All right, and then the last one is the name of our custom variable, and it is case sensitive. That is, I know we went over that, but that's important. If it's not case sensitive or one of them has different, it's going to only update one of your variables, and we don't want that. And then next line here in 17, it just combines these two objects you created into the array we made earlier.
So if you did a third one, you just put a comma and add the third one in there.
And add the third that you made.
Okay, so if you were doing, let's say, Acrobat, Adobe Acrobat, you'd have your Acrobat variable added, comma,
Yep.
and that right there. Okay.
Yep, and then add all of them. All right, and then what it's going to do is for each package that we have built, it's going to do a test, and if there are more than 3 folders, because we had our version name, the archive, and then when we built the other one, we had a third folder in there.
All right, so we now have 3. We've got archive. So it
Yep.
does require the archive in this case.
Yep.
Okay.
And it has to have more than 3, or it's just going to skip over it, so there's nothing new in there.
All right.
Jason Hanks made a good point of
auto testing.
Auto testing, this is like if you're in a test environment, this will go right away. If you want to give it the same 7 days or whatever that you have from our collections, we're doing the sorting by the date that the folder was created. So you could grab the timestamp and do a comparison. If it's less than 7 days, it will just still bypass. So then it would be the count equals 3 and the oldest folder is older than 7 days.
7 days.
Then it updates.
All right.
All right, and then it comes through and it basically just grabs the full name of the archive folder. That's what line 23 is. And then the next one, it moves the older one into the archive, gets it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, it goes through and it grabs it as a newer version. It grabs basically the name of that folder as the version. And these next 2 lines are where we update the custom variables.
In both deploy and inventory.
Yep. If this line's down there are found for you, it means the PDQ inventory and deploy aren't in your, I forget the name, in the command prompt system.
Path.
They're not in your path,
mm,
so you have to be more explicit for that or add it to your path, and then that will work for you. All right, and then this is where we build the SQL query.
Mm-hmm.
It includes the schedule ID, and this is to where the question was,
Yes.
how do we delete the history? So the SQL query, it'll go through and grab every computer that's in the history. It's in part of the database called schedule computers.
Yeah.
And then for each one, it will go through and it will run the same command line, delete schedule history for that machine. It'll go through each one.
Each machine.
So, and this is where it's important. So mine does, where it queries the database, if there is a conflict or it's in use in that table, it's going to fail. Where Colby's suggestion was to grab every computer and then just run it against all computers because there's no error. If the computer's not there, it will still delete everything. It will just take longer while it cycles through.
Yeah, you said it took like 8 minutes for you.
8 minutes, and I had 600 or so computers, I believe.
Yeah, so
But
it's a safer option, but a lot slower.
There's a timing issue there.
Yep.
So
And if this is something you're sending to all your computers anyway, it's probably better to go with Colby's method where it grabs all computers. Just the fully qualified domain name does matter. So if on your schedule, if it has in the target history the name .web.
yeah.
You're going to need that
That
full
whole
name
thing.
or it's going to fail.
Yep.
Where with the database one, it has some inherent risk, but it will add that for you.
Why don't we open and take a look at the test my variable history, just because there is so much of that out there, so we can actually watch it doing
Okay.
the delete. We're going to run this. Before we run it, any other questions at this point?
Dear Lex and Jordan, does the new Chrome package exclude Server 2019? Thanks, David M.
I do believe Colby looked into this one.
Yep, I did. I talked to our packaging team, and we are planning on adding Server 2019 to the conditions on all packages or many packages, something like that. I don't know if I can give an estimated time on when we're going to do that, but it's going to be soon.
All righty then. Thanks, Colby.
Yep.
All right, so that being said, we can now kick this guy off. Yeah, run this.
Yep. And I did
Okay,
choose...
whoa. Okay, I just want to take a bet. You and me, do you think it's going to work? Because, man,
I
test live.
For the first time in my webcast, I have tested this multiple times, and then after my testing,
You tested
I
more.
changed variables.
Oh, change variables.
So,
All right.
so I am hopeful.
All right. Kicks off. Oh, okay. Save value.
All right, and then now, while it's paused here, this is where we're talking about the delay where it removes. It's going through each one, and
So-
you're going to see it slowly is removing them. This is for 40 or so, just to give you an example.
Oh, okay. So it's cleaning them out. You guys
Yep.
can see them deleting there. The lines are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. While that's going on, I'm just going to pop open that folder where we were working.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Folder.
You got to open the package.
That's right. So if we look here, it has gone and moved. Test 8's gone. It's now test 9. Apparently, it has redone the variable already at this point.
It does that before it starts removing the schedule.
So that it's now pointing at the new version 9 that's in that folder.
Yep. And now we see the last one move out. It's going to move over here and do OBS vert. And where that one only had 2, it is going to go much faster. And we're done.
At this point, if we go look at the test 9,
The OBS Studio is now, the old one is in the archive.
let's go pop open the variables real quick. So variables should be 9. It was 8, should be 9. Was 20.1.2, should be 21.1. There we go.
All right. And then if if you take a look at the package, there's no error saying it can't find the file, so the path updated with the variable.
Let's just open it up again so we can see it.
Mhm.
21.1.2, so that all worked out. It's pointing at the new install file, and then if we look at our, there we go, latest. There it is. Apparently we've got one with the latest because that's the one I tested on. And if we go and let OBS Studio old update, we should see the rest of those guys show
The
up.
two
So
should
two
pop up
more.
here once it's done.
So everything has been in the background thanks to PowerShell magic.
Gotta love PowerShell.
It has been updated. Schedule-wise at this point, if we look at the schedule we were looking at the schedules. Once again, OBS is going to run on Tuesday. There's no target history, so everybody in old is going to get the new version.
Yep. So if and as you saw with the 40 computers that take two minutes, it's hard to track time when you're in front of the camera.
Suggestion, when you scheduled the PowerShell update to go out and check for your versions and change your variables and that, I would do that. I'd give yourself an hour.
Absolutely. Just enough time to make sure you're safe. If you have thousands of computers and you're installing this on every single one of them, just give yourself plenty of time for that to update.
Before your
The
schedule.
PowerShell running's not gonna block anything else. So it can run as early as you want. Just make sure everything's cleared out, or else you're gonna have a few issues on that one.
Now, if you don't, again, it doesn't have time to clear that out. Again, the next cycle it'll catch it at that point. So it's not live or die. But if you're expecting something, understand that gap between updating and deploying needs to be there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to just say, we automated, dude.
We did.
Lazy. So at this point, all we have to do, we'd schedule that in the task scheduler to PowerShell, and then anytime I get a new version, I make a new version folder, drop the install files in that folder, and
Make very sure that the version in the folder matches. Otherwise, you're going to have
a bad day.
But so, I mean, the variable update, it will match what's in the folder, but your collection is going to be wrong because when it actually scans for that software, that's not going to be matching properly.
Exactly. Any other questions?
Dear Lex and Jordan, SketchUp plugins are scripts, text files. To track deployment of new and uploaded plugins, I drop a text file of 2019-0919.txt. The next time I deploy SketchUp plugins, I check for the previous text file. Is there a better way? Sincerely, anonymous. See.
Anonymous? I wonder if Kelly's been drinking. Okay.
He's had his share of apple juice.
All right, okay. The question I've got is, are you dropping that on the console or are you dropping it on the end nodes and where that comparison's coming in? You know what I'm saying? Because if you drop it at the console, the better way, I would say get your variables running kind of like this. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
I mean, you could do the similar thing.
If that-
go ahead.
If that text file is uniform across all the machines and there's nothing unique about it, you can put that anywhere and use the comparison before you schedule it.
Absolutely.
If it's unique per machine, I can't think of a better way.
Yeah. So
what I think they're actually saying is what they're deploying doesn't show up in the programs list, and inventory isn't going to scan for it. So to show that they deployed it, they have in their deployment create an empty text file with the current date.
Oh, so there's nothing actually in the text file.
I'm thinking you got a file scanner to pull the file, pull the internals of the file. Maybe look at you can get the modified date on the text file, but
I guess you could kind of do it with collections, where you have a scanner that looks for that file, and then just you update that collection with the variable at the latest date.
yeah,
But I don't know if that's any better than what you're doing.
So
You're not putting anything, because then it still requires the file on the computer. So that is literally no better.
nope. All right, there's two different ways to do the exact same amount of work you're doing now. I don't know, does that help?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we got one more question.
Dear Lex and Jordan, we have a PS1 file with a large number of custom functions. Is there a way to include these functions in the deploy PowerShell environment? Thanks, Cameron F.
In the deploy PowerShell. I mean, you can, if you put those functions out on a share, you can within the script call those functions from there based on the share. You just have to make sure everyone has access to that share. If it's a restricted share you have to put it on, that would be a bit more difficult.
Yeah, you could include it as an additional file in the step that you're using.
There you go.
I did that for my best script here. I didn't even think of it.
That's why we have Colby here.
That's exactly why Kobe's here.
Nice.
All right.
We have any more? Are we good?
Yes, our final question is not a question. It is more of a comment. It says, not a question, but thanks for the new prioritize option in deploy. I've been so jealous of inventory anonymous.
Well, yes, that is. I like that feature too, because you know what? I want my stuff first. So, I'm like, hey, can you scoot me to the front of the list? But yeah,
Absolutely. That took longer to get out than we expected just because of the background changes, but we're glad that you have it and you're happy with it.
hey, thank you so
Yes.
much for using it, and appreciate.
Hey, I gotta tell you, this is my favorite kind of week.
Is it?
Early in the week, Lex swings by is like, can you do something with PowerShell? And I say yes, because the answer is always yes.
That is true.
And then I get to spend the week proving my point. So I guess...
And it worked, and we did it. It
thanks
worked
for
right out the
giving me
gate.
the
Boom.
opportunity.
Hey, are we going to make that PowerShell available?
Yep,
I believe it's
I
on
posted
the-
it in
yeah,
the
I
chat.
believe we did.
Excellent, guys. All right, pull it down. Paths, variables, collections. It'll work for you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hey, we really appreciate you guys watching today. You know,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this helps you become as lazy as we are.
is that really possible? I mean, I really truly think I'm the
with
laziest.
practice and perseverance, I think
hope
they
so.
can do it.
There you go. That's right. All work and no play means you're not automating. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan.
Catch y'all later.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Jagged C and David M., winners of PDQ swag. Please send us your info to webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.